What's up? It's the Coaster Craze. I don't know why, but I really wanted to try like a walk-in intro. I don't know. It's gonna be a new year, new me, new channel intro. But yeah, it's the end of 2022, and what better way to welcome in the new year than ranking my 10 most anticipated coasters. So I know there's been a lot of countdowns and stuff on YouTube about this, but I still want to get out my takes because 2023 is a weird year for coasters. So yeah, let's get on with the top 10, shall we? And coming in at number 10 is Pipeline, the surf coaster at SeaWorld Orlando. This is them bringing back the stand-up concept. This is pretty much the first stand-up coaster since like Georgia Scorcher in 1998. So this is going to be really weird. It actually has the seats bounce up a little bit, so it's like you're riding a wave like you're surfing, you know? As the coaster goes through the different elements. It's a bizarre layout where it doesn't really do much besides some kind of shallow airtime hills, an overbank, and one inversion. Plus there's a launch. I don't know, B&M's up to some weird things. This coaster, I think, is extremely anticipated because there isn't really anything like it, and it's going to be a make-or-break prototype for this model, so I'm fascinated to see how it goes. Number 9 is probably the coaster that we know the least about on this list. It is Wiener Looping, coming to Wiener Prater in Austria, and this is a park I had the pleasure of going to over this past semester, and I really loved it, but I kept on thinking they need their big coaster that anchors the park, and boy, is this going to be perfect. It's a mock Big Dipper. There's very little information, just like an artist rendering, basically, from the park, but the one Big Dipper I did get to ride, which was the original Lost Gravity at Walibi Holland, was phenomenal, such an underrated attraction. So this coming to such an exciting park, even if it's going to be small scale and compact, I know it's going to be a surefire hit, and I cannot wait to see what the full layout is going to be. Now at number 8, we have Hot Wheels Twin Mill Racer, which was supposed to open this past year, but it's been delayed, but looks like they are constructing. This is the new Mattel, I don't know how to pronounce it, it's a toy company, but their theme park is coming to the Phoenix area of Arizona, which is great because that state, it's huge, really needs a big theme park, and this looks like a really nice one. This is going to be a Chance Rides attraction. It's a GTX coaster, kind of like a Lightning Run at Kentucky Kingdom, but this one is launched apparently and has a few inversions. We don't know much about it, but if it actually does open in this next year, which would be really cool, it's going to be a really interesting, different ride, and it's going to be kind of Chance's take on the launch coaster, basically, the compact one. It's going to have some airtime, going to have some inversions. I'm excited to see what it looks like. Now, number 7, again, another ride we don't know a ton about, but it is super fascinating. This is the Vekoma Super Boomerang. Right now, it doesn't have a name. I think it's coming to one of the Fantawild parks in China, but there's some pictures on Reddit from it being like constructed, and you know, there's the initial Vekoma rendering of what the Super Boomerang model is, and it looks insane. I like boomerangs well enough already, but taking that concept with the new Vekoma track type that's uber smooth and making it extreme, it's like 160 feet tall or something, with a vertical drop, couple inversions, some airtime thrown in. It's a very short ride, but doing this forward and backwards is going to be wild. And obviously most people are not going to get to do it because it's all the way in China, but it is going to be fascinating to see how this thing rides and if it goes to more parks around the world, because this looks like it's like their new, you know, update to one of their most popular models. So this is pretty huge. So now at number 6, Mission Ferrari at Ferrari World in Abu Dhabi, UAE. Now this coaster, oh my gosh, I think it's been being constructed or announced as long as I've been a coaster enthusiast, for the last like 9 years or something. I don't even know. But it's finally opening in like 12 days. It's like January 12th, January 13th or something, which is super exciting. Like, oh my God. It's finally gonna happen. This is the first, I think, dynamic attractions like STX coaster. They describe it as a 5-dimensional coaster, whatever that means, but it's gonna be basically, they're saying it's the most technologically advanced coaster on the planet. When it opens, it's gonna have a few inversions, some launches, a sideways drop, they're saying, which I guess means like it's gonna tilt track and then it's gonna go like this, which is super cool. It just seems like a bizarre ride, and in terms of anticipated coasters, whether it's good or bad, it's gonna be something so different and really speaks to, are we entering the next generation of coasters? Just super curious to see a full POV when this thing comes out and to hear some ride reactions, because this could be a make or break ride right here. At number 5, Circuit Breaker. Now this is the first Vekoma tilt coaster of the modern generation. It's going to be the first one coming to America, and it was an out of left field announcement when it was made a few months ago, and you know, they have like a full like layout drawing. It's going to have some versions, some airtime. It doesn't look like a one-trick pony like Gravity Max in Taiwan, which was like their original model. Obviously the tilt is going to be really cool, but it's going to do a lot with the ride. It's going to be one of those modern generation Vekomas, and this is going to be the first high-thrill modern Vekoma coming to the States, which is super, super exciting because, like, these rides look amazing, and it's going to be great to get some of Vekoma's most advanced tech in Austin, Texas, of all places. So yeah, really looking forward to this one. Now we're entering the top 4, and these are the pretty predictable attractions you'd expect at the top. We're going to start with the RMC Hybrids. Number 4, we got Air Force One, which is opening very soon. They have a full POV, so it's all testing and whatnot. It was supposed to open this past year, but it looks phenomenal. Coming to Fun Spot Atlanta. It's a massive ground-up RMC iBox coaster. Super cool. It's coming to such a small park, and it's really going to put it on the map. It looks insane. It's a really, really great layout, courtesy of Joe Draves. And while the ending, I mean, the airtime hills look amazing, it is a bit repetitive. I think the start of the ride is going to be really powerful. It's a pretty, like, large, like, RMC. It's about 150 feet tall. It's like, a mid-tier RMC in terms of the size. It's a pretty long ride. It's going to have some inversions, a massive, massive zero-G stall, a really impressive, like, kind of Raven Trust dive, I think they're calling it. It looks really interesting. The drop is insane. Obviously, tons of airtime moments, some really cool low-to-the-ground inversions right above, like, an arcade. I don't know. This thing could really impress and be one of the best RMCs. So, of course, it's coming in really high. And that leads to number 3, the other RMC. This is a hybrid, the conversion of Wildcat at Hershey Park, which is a coaster I've been riding for a while. I mean, I'm repping Hershey Park right now. Wildcat's Revenge. And this is something I've been dreaming about for so long. This is what Hershey Park really needed to become one of the arguably top 3 or so coaster lineups, maybe in the world. And this, I think, has the potential to be the best ride in the park. We'll see if it beats my baby Sky Rush over here, but the layout looks fantastic. They're really upping the stats. It's going to be like about 140 feet tall. It's a long ride. Wildcat I always thought had a good layout, and they're using a lot of that, but really incorporating some great elements. I mean, it looks like a fantastic ride. We don't have a full POV or anything, but I think maybe partially I'm putting this above Air Force One just because it's at Hershey Park, and I know I'm going to go there, but this thing looks insane. Like, it actually could be one of the best RMCs. So now we got the top 2. Number 2, Batman Gotham City Escape at Parque Warner Madrid. And this park really needed that super standout attraction, and this is going to be it. I mean, these modern intimate blitz coasters, these multi-launch coasters, look absolutely insane, like Pantheon, Velocicoaster, and this looks a little bit like a mix between those two. It's got the Pantheon elements of, the little launch to start off with a couple, like, inversions, some elements, then the big launch and the top hat. Then it's also got, like, a little rollback at the end, which is super cool. There's no, like, full POV or anything, just, like, some renderings that, like, fans are making. But this attraction, they're promising to be super highly themed, which is epic. It's going to be like going through like Wayne Manor, like the queue or whatever. We'll see if there's a lot of on-ride theming. But like obviously it's not going to be Velocicoaster level, but it's going to be a heavily themed, highly thrill coaster that's going to mix in a lot of interesting elements. And is sure to probably be one of the best coasters in the world. This thing looks insane. We've been watching it get built for so long. Yeah, no, this ride, insane. And that leads to number 1, which is again another intimate blitz coaster coming to Europe, because those things are killing it. And this one has been announced for a while, ever since IAPA. I think it was like 2018, maybe 2019. I saw this layout, I saw all the elements they're packing in. I was like, holy crap. Like, forget Pantheon, forget Velocicoaster even, forget Gotham City Escape. This looks like it could be the best new generation intimate coaster. I mean, I could be wrong, but Tuditis, I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm really bad with French. It's coming to Parc Asterix in north of Paris, and this ride, oh my god, it's got beyond vertical drop. It's got multiple launches, like that multi-pass launch, some inversions, airtime. This thing packs in everything. It's basically intimate, taking what they've learned from seeing the RMC coasters and taking some of their best elements and just putting it all together. It's a greatest hits of intimate coaster, and I don't know, I think it's gonna definitely be, if it rides well, a top 10 coaster in the world, which is super exciting. It could be even higher. I don't know. I'm so curious to hear about how this rides, and knowing Parc Asterix, it looks like it's gonna be themed really well too, which is always a great addition to an already fantastic coaster. So yeah, I think for me, that's my most anticipated coaster of next year, and I also think that's going to be the best new coaster to open up next year. But we have a great list that I'm sure is going to be some surprises, some flops, some really amazing ones that come out of left field. But yeah, 2023, the year of manufacturers trying weird new things, as well as some manufacturers sticking to what they know best and what they do best. Let me know in the comments down below what your most anticipated coasters of 2023 are, what coasters and parks you're planning on riding next year and visiting. Super curious to hear. And Happy New Year. This is the Coaster Craze signing off. Like and subscribe because there's a lot of new content coming next year, especially all of the vlogs from my semester in Europe where I went to a ton of parks in that continent. See you guys later. Bye.